Do you want an edge on your sports book? We know that you do, and that's why we are here. Welcome into the only daily sports betting podcast powered by SportsLine. We're in your feed every single day before 11 a.m. This is The Early Edge, again, brought to you by SportsLine. I'm your host, the coach, and I'm wearing a white sweatshirt today because I am waving the white flag on bad beats the last 2 days. We would have been a solid 2-1-1 last night if not for the worst bad beat in the history of the NFL. But what do we always say? It's all about looking forward. Today, it's about Premier League soccer and college hoops. So let's bring in our cappers. He's our soccer guru. Last week, he gave you 3 straight winners on SportsLine and the SportsLine app. He is Tom Fornelli. Tommy, are you ready for a big day?
Yes, I am. I'm also more excited than you are because I happened to be on Ravens -3 last night. So that helped my case a little bit. I went to bed very happy.
What makes it worse than a lot of people like myself, I bought it up to 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody would have been happy if it would have ended 45-42. I swear to you, I couldn't sleep. I was like, this is why I love it and I hate it. Our second capper, you know him. He's a college hoops junkie. He gave you Marquette plus the 7 yesterday, and they won the game on the court. Zack, Cimini, are you ready for another good day, sir?
Yeah, I've got 2 games again today, so hopefully we can go 2-0.
Let's go. Let's get it. All right, up first, Tommy, it's you, Premier League Soccer. The Wolves plus 440. This is on the 3-way. There's a lot to digest when we're talking about soccer, but according to William Hill on the 3-way, Wolves plus 440, hosting Chelsea, coming back at -145. A draw comes in at plus 265, and the total is at 2.5. This game, 1 Eastern on NBC Sports Network. Tommy, start us off. Give it to me.
Yeah, you know, I look at this matchup, and this Wolverhampton team, they're interesting because they've had like 2 separate seasons in that before the season began, they sold one of their better attacking players to Liverpool, and it took them a while to adjust to not having them. And then when they finally started to find their groove offensively and in attack, their striker, Raul Jimenez, suffered a horrific injury in a match against Arsenal in which he suffered a fractured skull, and we don't know when he's even going to be back, if it's anytime soon, and that's not likely. And now they're stuck in a position where they don't have the guy that they rely on to score goals, and their first few matches without him, it has showed. They've really struggled to really put anything in attack. But in their last match against Aston Villa, which they lost 1-0 on Saturday morning, they got a bit unlucky. The attack started to find a way. They were getting a lot of good opportunities and a lot of good shots on goal, but Aston Villa's goalkeeper made a lot of terrific saves, honestly, that saved his team in that match. So I look at this matchup going against Chelsea, who is one of the better teams in the league and historically is typically overvalued by books because they are so popular. And I see value on Wolves here. I think Chelsea wins this match more often than not. Obviously, it's the better team, but I do think that Wolverhampton can get a draw or get a win enough of the time. I think they get it about half the time. So when I look at the value on this, as long as it's like plus 105 or better, I'm all in. If it's plus 110, 115, or 120 where we're getting it, I think it's fantastic value. So I'm taking Wolves to draw or win.
All right, next game on the board, Man City. My goodness, -850. They host West Brom, who returns at plus 2,100. Tommy, this feels like golf betting numbers right now that we're talking about. A draw at plus 800.
Yeah.
Total at 3.5. This game, 3 Eastern, also on the NBC Sports Network. Tell me where there's value in this matchup with these kind of numbers.
It's hard to find real value on Man City matches, especially against West Brom. Now, if you want to, you could take West Brom at that huge number, but it's not going to win. Even at that large of a number, there's just not enough value there because West Brom is quite simply might be the worst team in the Premier League this year. At best, it's the second best team. Defensively, they have allowed 25 goals in 2 matches, which is the most in the league. And if you look at the advanced analytics, the expected goals allowed, they've allowed 22.1 expected goals, which shows they haven't really been unlucky. And that's the second worst number in the league, ahead of only Leeds United. And they're going against a Man City team that is, considered one of the favorites to win the league every year, but is off to a somewhat slow start. And that slow start has been offensively. And we saw it in their last match against Manchester United, which was a pretty sluggish, boring affair in which there just really wasn't a whole lot of attacking. Although Man City did have chances in that game, they just didn't convert them. And I feel like this is a very much a get right spot for them. So I'm looking at the team total of 3.5. And I'm going over because we're getting fantastic value on that, because this strikes me as a game in which Man City could put up 4 goals, 5 goals, just to make a point, just to feel better about itself against a defense that'll be all too happy to give up chances to it. So when I see it at plus 145, I love it for Man City.
But let me ask you this. Sorry to cut you off quickly. For people at home that are just getting into soccer betting and may not understand, why wouldn't you just bet the over instead of the team total?
It's purely value as far as the juice. Like the total for the match is 3.5 and it's minus 120. Whereas I feel like if that over hits, it's going to be because of Man City. West Brom's attack is not very good. They have a bad defense and a bad offense. So odds are, if we're going over 3.5 here, it's going to be because Man City scored at least 3 of those goals. And you hope that West Brom scores one. I don't want to rely on West Brom. I think Man City can get there by itself.
All right, very good. All about education, entertainment as well. Don't forget right now, if you're not a member at SportsLine, and you should be, we've got the best value. We talk about value all the time. How about this? If you open an account right now, we're going to give you 30 days for free if you use the promo code EDGE. We've got the start of the NBA season. We've got the rest of college football season, bowl season, NFL, and the playoffs in the next 30 days. You'll be playing with house money by the time the 30 days is up. So, again, use the promo code EDGE and open up account today at SportsLine. All right, next game on the board, we're moving over college hoops. That means, Zach, you are up. You gave us Marquette last night at +7. They won outright today. Longwood at Radford. Radford giving 4.5, the total 128. Now, for people that are watching the show or listening today, they're like, wait a second, didn't you have that game yesterday? Yes, we did. The same 2 teams came in, barely took the over, which Larry had the under on the show yesterday. So the numbers look very similar. Longwood covered, losing by just 1. Zach, what do you like today?
Yeah, you mentioned this will be the second consecutive day Longwood goes and plays against Radford in the Big South Conference. And I look at what happened yesterday when the point spread was 5.5. The line dips just slightly to 4.5 based on yesterday's performance. Longwood was down 8 points at halftime. They came back to take the lead right at the end, but let it slip away. Lost by 1 point. I just look at that result. I think there's value today on Longwood getting 4.5. Just based on Radford, they're not the same team we've seen reign supreme in the Big South over the past few years. And here's a little nugget. Radford has defeated Longwood 9 straight times. I think that's why you see this line dip down just slightly. There's value on Longwood today.
I love the little nugget from Zach all the time. Love the little nugget. All right, next game on the board. You talk about off the radar. How about this one? Furman at Alabama. The Crimson Tide giving 5.5. This according to our good friends at William Hill. The total coming in around 151. This game, a 9 Eastern start on the SEC network. Zach, Alabama just had their 2-game winning streak snapped against Clemson at the Holiday Hoops Giving event in Atlanta. How do you see this one against Furman today?
Well, one of the things I like to find in non-conference play are repeat matchups from last year, and this is one of them. Last year in the Battle for Atlantis, Alabama beat Furman when they were -3.5 on a neutral site court, 81-73. So that's a little bit why I picked this game. I think Alabama under head coach Nate Oates, one of the things he's not known for in the mainstream is how well he covers. When he was with Buffalo, they were one of the best teams ATS, and last year, deep into conference play, Alabama was second in college basketball, over 60% ATS. So I think you look at that matchup, even though Furman has 5 starters that are upperclassmen, 3 of their 5 wins were against non-Division I opponents. Everyone will look at how well they played against Cincinnati. Almost got that cover, but they lost at the free throw line late. And I think Alabama at home can do that once again and get the win ATS-wise.
If you start using the word almost in sports betting, you're going to be losing a lot. We almost covered the spread, but you didn't. A quick reminder, we have video of this show on the SportsLine YouTube channel every single day. Audio at Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Subscribe to the show, but most importantly, use those push alerts. All right, time for our quick recap. Tommy, you were on the Wolves a little bit or the draw in that matchup, and you have the Man City team total over 3.5. That's coming back in the plus 140, 145 area. And then Zach in college hoops, you like Longwood, second day in a row playing Radford. They're getting 4.5 to cover that. They lost by 1 yesterday. And then Alabama giving 5.5 against Furman. Again, this is what we call an off-the-radar type of day. That's going to do it for us. For Tommy, our soccer guru, and Zach, the man with the What? Zack, and also the man who puts it all together, Jacob, our producer. I am the coach. Good luck. Let's get back on the winning track. And remember, this is the only place every single day for your early edge.